Hey, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about the path of the razor's edge and how all beings and all creation are emanations from the perfect Father or the emanated Creator, or some call it Allah, Krishna, or Christ. And since even Jesus said to be perfect as your Father who art in heaven, and perfect is an indication, meaning that our main goal and our destiny inherent in our nature is to actually become perfect. Now, in order to access this, of course, we have to ask ourselves, well, we hear that no one's perfect and that everyone falls short. So how could it be that we even have the potential? Some people say that we don't have the potential to become perfect. Some people say that we have to live continually degenerated or imperfect, and that we'll never actually reach perfection in this life. Some say, well, you have to be perfect, but only if you convert to this religion or that religion. However, we can tell that even with religion, human beings still fall short of purity. There's still a lot of impurity rampant, especially in the age of Kali Yuga, which the people in this valley calculated the 4 Yuga cycles, each cycle being gold, silver, bronze, and iron. Iron Age being the age of darkness, gold being the age of light and enlightenment. And right now being the age of darkness, everyone's lower nature is more engulfed, more inflamed. Whereas in other ages, it was more easier to live according to the perfect ways of the inner law. Now, what this means to me is that the great ones have always seen that life is a place to experience and to learn and to grow, and that everything that life gives us is able to magnify our virtues and to show us and give us lessons on how to overcome our vices. Our vices being things that cause destruction to ourselves or others, and then our virtues being things that enrich in nature and help others. And everyone's goal in this life, and all of the great people, the great ones, were souls that took the initiative to help lift people up. To lift people up. In life, there's a ladder or a rung, like a cross. And there's the line of time, and there's the line of eternity. Now, on this line of time, we go from birth to death. It's a fixated line. There's an end to it. The line of infinity, there's not. And in this line of infinity, there's various levels of consciousness that we're at. Being as, for example, someone who's violent temperament, or lustful, or the drunkard, or the addict, or all these different various aspects of consciousness we have. And then up here we have people that are more disciplined, self-controlled. So this ladder, depending on where you're at in this line, depends on where you're going to fall here in your soul level. You could feel like you're rich in material wealth, but you're poor in spirit, poor in mentality. But some people who are poor in the physical realm are actually rich in spirit and in qualitatively in other gifts. Now, every soul's right is to become a king and a priest of this world. So we have to learn how to overcome all the inferior atoms. What I mean by this is that the power of the human is that we have self-reflection, self-cognisance. We have the ability to be aware of our lifespan, that one day this will end, and that there could be a hereafter. Some have proven it for themselves. Some are yet to experience. Either way, in this world, we are given the ability to live in our individual forms and to form this individual based off experiences. And in this realm, it's easy to make mistakes. It's easy to fall into the material elements, and the atomic atoms, the inferior elements, are quick to get the upper hand on human nature while we're still immature. It's hard to control impulse, hard to control our minds, especially in this age. Everywhere we go, there's some new distraction or some new degenerate behavior being glorified. And because of this, man and woman have fallen into confusion, and the only way out is to follow the light of truth. Now, in the past ages, this was personified in the great teachings of the holy books, and now the Spirit is coming back in the second coming as truth and wisdom, inherent in all beings. So no longer are we necessarily worshiping a guru or a specific avatar or a god emanation. Now we're serving the Spirit in spirit of truth in our actions, our words, our life, and we're enriching our minds with knowledge every day so that we can become perfect. The goal is perfection. If we don't set our ideal high, it will always fall short. We should always set our ideal higher than what we believe we can achieve, because inherently we do have it inherent in us to be perfect, because if we really are emanated, we really are children of the cause, the great spirit, the Father, the Creator, Allah, Krishna, Christ, then by our inheritance, we should be able to inherit that perfection. Now, when Jesus Christ says he's the truth and the way, it's because the truth and the way has always been there. There's always been the truth and the way. That truth and the way is the supreme God, Allah, the supreme God, Krishna, the supreme God, Jehovah. There's only one supreme way. Different cultures have named it different things. There's always been a path of evil and a path of good. And right now, as well as most likely in other ages, but right now it just seems more rampant and more easily that people are more adjusted to degenerate behaviors that were never considered normal in the past. So the path of the razor's edge is basically saying that you're going to reclaim your spirit and that you're going to fight the temptations of the flesh, overcome them, and not only become a priest of the world in purity, but also a king of it. You know, we should learn how to become inherently so selfless that even if we had millions of dollars, it wouldn't affect us, that we would still give it to the highest good. That even if we were surrounded with all the delights and passions of the world, of all our desires, that we would still act according to spirit. You know, it's about understanding that suppression is not morality, and that we all have to overcome by diligently listening to the still small voice within ourselves, quieting the mind, and living in an equilibrium state, and always being grateful and considerate and knowing that we are all individual servitors of the grand creator. And each one of us fulfills a specific mission and a specific plan, and that everyone's body is an alchemical laboratory that has the inner processes, the inner secrets, and the inner capabilities to allow the physical vessel on this planet to manifest the individual spirit within fully. What I mean by this is that not all people have their full individual spirit souls fully incarnated. Some are just partially incarnated. Now, just like a cocoon, like the worm has to go into the cocoon. Once in the cocoon seals the worm, ferments it. Now, the same with this realm. This realm is an incubator, just like the cocoon. And as soon as you maximize your spirit, once you leave this realm, you're qualified to live in the spirit realm. And we all have to answer to ourselves, as well as the higher intelligences of the universe, as well as to God, as to what we did with our talents, what we did with our time, what we did with the people that came to us that were in need. Did we help them? Did we reject them? And these are the things that life experiences help us slowly overcome. So here's a small impromptu speech just on the purpose of life, why all religions stop arguing. There's only one path of good, path of destruction, period. And if we understand that there has been different names given to the same principality, then we can start working against the more nihilistic beliefs, the atheistic, more purposeless, life is nothing, we give all the meaning to it. We can rise above this in consciousness. And as long as we don't get trapped in the ancient, because don't get me wrong, religion is a source of knowledge, of growth, but it has been hijacked by the priestcraft and used to distort the ancient truths, the Prisca Theologia, the ancient wisdom of the past, and to distort it into a control mechanism. So religion in and of itself is not a control mechanism. It's from God. Religions are inspired by God to men, to seers and prophets who are able to distill the information and put character form to it and write it down. The books are all layered with 7 seals, 7 different interpretations. So once we understand this, then we can move on to a higher level of knowledge, to know that the soul does exist beyond the body, and that we are eternal beings, and that there is plenty of time for growth, positive activities, consequences, positive, good, the bad, the ugly, can all take place in other realms of existence, as well as this physical realm. And If we learn to master our consciousness in this physical realm, we can actually etherealize and astralize this realm and make it into our divine image. So, thank you.